Do 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 do.
Here we go again. It takes a very special kind of person to set off alone to cycle through China or to walk through Tibet with only a donkey for company. But my next guest has not only done that, she's now planning a trip from the North to the South Pole. Adventurer extraordinaire Sorrel Wilby. Music from Ross and the boys, and it's good to have you back on the show.
Thank you very much.
I was told just before you came out that everything you're wearing today you designed and made yourself.
Yeah, I actually finished it in the hotel room this morning.
Very, very clever.
Thank you.
Do you make all your own gear?
Yeah, usually because I can't find what I like in the shops.
Yeah, well, it looks terrific.
I collect things as I travel and use them, incorporate them into designs.
Travel. What fascinated you about travel, and how come that you made what we see as adventures a livelihood for yourself?
It all started actually when I was about 12 years old and I saw my first National Geographic magazines. I just couldn't believe that the world held so much wonder. There were such high mountains and such wild rivers and, oh my God, what enormous appendages black African women had. It was a hell of an introduction into the world.
Yeah, basically the same background.
Thinking man's pornography. Only I took it one step further. I decided that the only way to experience those other cultures and other landscapes was to actually become a photographer and journalist for the National Geographic magazine, which I eventually did, but it was a long process.
Tell us about Tibet.
Probably one of the most extraordinary adventures I've ever had in my life. I guess communication brings up communication because you are in a completely different environment with different people, and it's, I guess, a challenge in itself, as if the environment wasn't challenging enough. I mean, minus 40 degrees, I got snow-blinded, frostbitten, the whole works. But one of the most challenging things is communication, actually, with another race or another culture of people. And the thing about Tibetans is, of course, that it's not just a different language that you have to come to terms with, it's a whole different body language as well. For example, when they greet you, they don't sort of reach over and shake your hand and say g'day. Their form of greeting. Can we stand up and do this?
Yeah, sure. I'd like to be seen again. That's much more nicer. Yeah.
Okay. Well, when a Tibetan nomad greets you, they hold your hands like this and plumb foreheads.
Oh, right. Let's do it again.
Foreheads.
Yeah.
Well, see, this is the main.
Yes.
This is actually the main problem with greeting a Tibetan nomad, is that if you're really excited to see them, which I was invariably, because I didn't have anything to eat or nowhere to sleep and all that sort of thing, so I was pretty excited, and we used to sort of concuss each other every
Let's do it again, because it really is quite good fun. Peter, come over and try it. It's rather good fun. You know Peter O'Connell, my floor manager. Say hello to him, Sorrel. Yeah. Come over, Brad. Try it. It really is good fun.
No, there's another greeting.
Yeah.
I'll do another.
You do the other greeting with Brad.
The other greeting, which freaked me out the first time.
Could you perhaps explain to me what the greeting is? I mean, it's quite. It's okay, is it?
Oh, I'm not going to be rude on.
Because if it's going to be fun, I'd like you to do it with me. There's Brad.
No. Another way of greeting in Tibetan is to show your palms first of all, to show you don't have any weapons. And here we go, national television. Poke your tongue out.
Yeah. There must be a lot of Tibetans who live in Caulfield, because I found a lot of men walking on the street going like that. Yeah. Well, that's very interesting. What about, I mean, you would find them fascinating, but do Tibetans find us fascinating in our ways?
That's quite interesting, actually, because, I mean, I didn't have too much in the way of Western material things with me, but I did have my tent, my aerodynamically designed thing. And, of course, they thought that was the most ridiculous object they'd ever seen in their lives because it had a floor, right? And how can you light a fire in a tent if it has a floor? That's crazy. It'll go up in smoke. Where's the chimney? That sort of thing. But also, I'll never forget one night waking up in the middle of the night. I had my sleeping bag, and sleeping bags are really compact little numbers, and I'm inside this down sleeping bag, quite content and quite warm. And I woke up in the middle of the night to discover I not only had fleas from the yaks, but my stomach sort of felt like a braille had been pushed through a braille typewriter, but also that someone, thinking that this flimsy-looking little thing couldn't possibly be keeping me warm, they'd absolutely covered me in sheepskins which I suppose is where I got the fleas from. Yeah, so I sort of woke up in this pile of sweat and 15 sheepskins over the top of me. That's extraordinary. They don't really quite understand.
No, I mean, they welcome you, I'm sure, and they would find, you know, obviously interesting to see people from another culture. But are they aware of tourism? I saw a documentary on the ABC a couple of months ago, and I'm sure it was about Tibet, certainly an area like Tibet, and it was both interesting but also a little sad that it seemed we were going to ruin their lifestyle.
We, as Westerners going into other countries, we have quite a strong responsibility to respect other people's beliefs and wishes and things like that. Fortunately for me, I was in regions that no one had ever been in before, no Westerners had ever travelled through, so it was quite an extraordinary situation. In fact, I'd meet nomads and I'd say, oh, I'm from Australia, and they'd sort of turn to their kids and say, oh, she means India. That's if they knew about India, because they don't really have any concept of the rest of the world. And others would turn around and say, how many days by yak is that to Lhasa, from Lhasa? So there is an extraordinary sort of lack of understanding of Western ways.
But do you think we will change their culture and do harm to them?
Well, you cannot get into Tibet anymore. I mean, it was only open for a very small period of time. And I think the nomadic regions that I was travelling through, they will remain unaffected forever, which is a lovely thing.
What about this extraordinary journey you want to do now between the two poles?
The two poles, yeah. I actually woke up it was about 3 days ago and decided that that's what I wanted to do. So there's a lot more planning involved than just sort of waking up one morning and going, oh, I think I'll climb Everest, yes. You do have to sort of think things through a lot more than that. So
when do you plan this for? When will you do it?
Probably a year's time. It'll take about a year to get the correct experience and sponsorship, because I don't want to do it just walking. I want to go by bicycle, kayak, all sorts of different extreme means.
And you'll start from the South Pole and make your way?
No, so I'll start from the north and go south, because I have this thing about going downhill. And it's ludicrous, isn't it? But if I went the other way, I would feel that I was going uphill all the time. Too hard.
Yeah, there's something there. I think you've met too many Tibetans. Sorrel, I guess that the only negative I could find about someone like yourself is that in years to come, you might be someone who is going to be a little upset and a little sad, because when your travelling days are over, which is many, many years hence, I realise, what I'm saying is, will you ever be able to settle down completely?
I like to have my cake and eat it too. I like the idea of settling down as such. I got married in December. I'm putting my husband through the mill at the moment, teaching him the ropes of adventure, taking him off to Nepal and making sure he survives at high altitude.
What does he do for a living?
He's a cameraman.
Oh, dear me. By sheer fluke?
Just by chance. We met working on a documentary for the ABC, was walking through the rainforest. So he survived that. He survived Nepal. He's going to survive the relationship with me. So
well, yeah. Forget what I said. Obviously, you and he are going to have a lot of fun together for many, many years to come. If both got the same interest.
My idea of settling down is having a stable place to hang your hat at the end of the day, which could be 6 months, 2 years, 4 years, 5 years down the track.
We'll certainly talk to you before that, the next big adventure.
Many times.
From North Pole to South
Pole.
North
to the
South.
South.
Now, do we say goodbye in the same manner?
Yes, I think so. Okay. Appropriate.
Sorrel Wilby, ladies and gentlemen. And we're back with you after this break. Thanks, Sorrel.